It's the Homeowner Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to bring you the best information and options for you in your home. My name is Craig Williams. I am running the studio live without Kevin because he's at camp. Glad you guys could join us. It's going to be a fun episode. We got a bunch of guests in the studio. Hang on, let me turn this off because no one wants to hear the weird after music. Guys, we have a really fun episode actually in the studio tonight. We haven't been in the studio for a while, so we are glad to be back at home where it sounds good and the lighting is good and there's no rain and lightning trying to kill us because that was pretty much the experience at our last live one, even though it was a lot of fun. But anyway, this episode is brought to you live by Lone Star Appliance Repair. If you need your appliances repaired, which everybody needs their appliances repaired, or if you just need them a little maintenance, a little cleanup, maybe some defrosting going on, give Darlene a call over in the office at 936-647-2364, and she will get you all hooked up. She will send one of their expert techs out to get your appliance checked out and let you know exactly what's going on with it. Maybe it's just not getting cold. Maybe you got a little funk in the old dishwasher there, or a little funk in the washing machine. And get it all cleaned up and good as new, and it'll cost you a fraction of what it would be to replace it. Give them a call, 936-647-2364. This episode is also brought to you by True Texas Solar. Our friends over at True Texas Solar are looking to help everyone get their home and business to energy independence. And they can do that through a series of strategies that they have. You can get solar on your home. You can get generators on your home. You can put a battery on your home. For any of those instances where the power goes down, which it's happening a lot. I think even lawsuits are now being brought to the state of Texas against some of the power grids because we are having such a problem with our infrastructure. True Texas Solar can get you set up to where you'll never lose power. I mean, it might be like 5 seconds and you'll be back up and running. This is like a huge need now for people working remotely from home. I keep hearing this from people that have home offices. They've transitioned to home work. They're like, I have to have a backup plan in place in order for me to continue to do work even when the grid goes down. My boss says it's not a good excuse anymore for me to not have internet, to not have power. I need to be able to continue to do the work. And so guys like True Texas Solar can help you out. They can get you the best system that you need for your home, and they're not going to take advantage of you. The CEO, Josh, actually is out touring the state of Texas, talking to groups about these scams that solar companies are running, these outside non-Texas entities that none of y'all want to work with, how they're scamming homeowners out of thousands, and this is one of the good ones. Give them a call, 936-286-8325. Again, 936-286-8325. All right, tonight in the studio, we're going to have a good time. We have the Fisher family. We actually have the Fisher family in the studio. I'm gonna get everybody pulled up on the screen here, so that way I'm not having to switch back and forth all night. See. Yeah, that's beautiful. Now I don't have to think about the camera. Glorious. Because this is Kevin's job.
Kevin's not here.
See, Kevin, we have a robot that can do your job. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got monsooned on as soon as we tried to leave, but
little rain on the way here.
Started heading towards Conroe, and it was just the clouds parted. So it's meant to be. Get us out of there.
Hey, if it cools it off a little bit, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So, and I think they even changed the weather, because I was looking at it like tomorrow and Wednesday, and they were saying it's up to like 50% for tomorrow and Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
And it was like 20% this morning.
No,
I didn't know it was going to rain at all.
Out of nowhere, I looked outside. I was getting my son's shoes on, trying to find them, and is that rain? So I had to we don't have any umbrellas because I'm awesome and unprepared always. So I got a Kroger bag and threw it over my head.
Well, there you go.
Get out the door.
Well, so we have a couple of cool episodes coming up. We have a review of a sauna that we just put in over at the party deck. It's like a big cool. Have you guys seen these new home saunas that you can get? Like it's cool. It's like a big wooden box that, I mean, I got it. My chiropractor recommended it to me, and he's like, look, dude, just get a sauna. You can sit in, you can sweat off all your troubles. I was having really bad back problems, and he's like, look, this is one of the strategies that you can engage in order to get your back ready or get your back better. And it really has helped. It was super easy to put together. We're gonna do like a full review on that. But the other one that's interesting is we're actually gonna do we get into politics a little bit every once in a while on the show. We try to like stay out of it as much as possible because it's not really our bailiwick. But there was an interesting survey that came out, I think it was last week, of the number one voting issue for millennials in 2024. Do you guys have any idea what it might be? Any guesses?
Being able to buy a home.
That's actually it.
Yeah.
That is it. Home affordability is the number one issue for millennials in 2024. And like, what is interesting about it to me is like none of the candidates are talking about it. And then they're all telling them like, this is the issue. And they're all talking about like immigration, and they're talking about scandals, and they're talking about, everything else. But it's like, they're telling them this is the number one issue. Right. And they're not, what are they doing about it?
What a shocker.
I don't think they have an immediate fix or a quick turnaround on how to fix the market, the homeowner market. And so that's why they're avoiding it, because anything that they say that they're going to do to try to fix it, it's not going to happen right away. So they're trying to dangle the carrots for us to all paw at, and I don't think that's one of the easy carrots for them to attack right now. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen.
Well, it also seems kind of weird to me to go to the people that screwed it up to try and get them to fix it.
Yeah, right. That's
hey, you really messed this up. What are your best solutions?
Yeah. It's like, hey, you spray painted and I don't know. I was trying to think of a good example. Words eluded me for the first time in my life ever. It's weird. Whoa.
So anyway, we're gonna do a deep dive in the next couple of weeks on like which candidate, and we're gonna look at all three of them. I guess we could look at all four of them. I don't know that the fourth one's actually like no one's. Anybody know who the Libertarian candidate is?
Isn't it Jill?
Don't ask me.
Is it Jill?
She was the Green Party candidate. I think she was running again. I thought I saw her on there again, but I know you have RFK, Trump, and Biden.
Yeah, those are the three I was thinking that we were going to dig into. I mean, I think those are the three that actually have a shot.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't even know the names of the other. Like, I guess there's Libertarian Party, Green Party. They never I don't even think they go above 1% in the.
Oh no, yeah.
So,
it's terribly difficult to get any traction in that.
Yeah. I listened to an interview with RFK today.
Yeah.
And I think he's an interesting dude. There's a lot of stuff about him I'm not on board with, but dude's into falconry.
Yeah.
Did y'all know that? Like he's been raising hawks, and like he's been catching hawks and rearing hawks since he was a kid.
All right, that's it.
That's cool.
Elected.
That's cool.
It's cool, isn't it? I was like, there's a hunting podcast that I listened to. Shout out to the Meat Eater podcast, to the Steve Ranella and those guys over there. Brought him in. They started talking about falconry, and he was like, "Yeah, I've been catching these birds since I was a boy." And he was talking about this kind of hawk. There's what is it called? Anyway, he was talking about his first one was a red-tailed hawk, but then he found out that there's these other hawks. They actually hunt in packs. And it's like the only bird that does that.
That's terrifying.
That's amazing.
He was talking about how they'll like chase a squirrel around a tree together. It's just cool stuff. And he's like, when I found out that they did that, I was like, I had to get one. And I was like, who does that?
That's why I avoid them. Like, oh my gosh, no, thank you.
It's like, no, I'm just going to go and catch one and train it and like just steal all their babies so I can sell them.
I'm okay. Now maybe not elected.
Hey, you make money where there's money to be made.
Yeah.
It's a great hobby, though. I mean,
well, it's like one of the oldest hobbies.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's like it is like the hobby of kings of old. I mean, like he said he picked it up because there was a book he read out of the Oval Office from when his uncle was president about King Arthur and how he was into falconry. And he's like, well, if King Arthur wasn't into it, I'm going to be into it.
Well, it was originally like a hunting method, wasn't it?
Well, that's what he was. That's what he was using it for.
Yeah,
he's catching rabbits and squirrels.
Yeah. Oh.
So when you can use it, he said you can use it to catch other birds, but that's tougher because most other birds fly faster than hawks.
Okay.
So he said it's tough.
I do see people like they do. I've seen where they license people for hawks to catch dove in the cities to help with the population,
pigeons and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's effective. Yeah.
really effective.
Yeah.
They're really cool to watch.
It is cool to watch.
Still feel it'd be more fun to let me loose with a shotgun, but it's frowned upon in the city limits, I guess.
Yeah, not in Argentina though. No. In Argentina, it's like wherever you want to shoot a dove,
Yeah.
it's
Go
fair
for
game.
it.
Just kill them.
Yeah. Oh.
There's millions of them. So, yeah, I mean, like, I've had friends that go to Argentina, and there's hunting ranches there where you, like, they say you'll throw your shoulder out before you stop shooting them.
Really?
Yeah, and there's the usually you have like a guide with you, and his job is to stand behind you with another shotgun, loading that shotgun so that when this one's empty, he can just hand you that one, let the one you were just shooting cool off, and then just keep going.
Just mow them down.
Just mow them down.
That's
and,
great.
and he goes, and they're like, it never ends. There's just birds all day long. All day long.
That'd be so fun.
I want to go next year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not at the plan that is our next,
Vacation
our little kid-free trip hunting. Zach and I are
Bring the
avid
kids, give
hunters.
them go.
Oh, cool.
Time. Yeah.
Same. Like I love it. So, and like we've got, we're going deer hunting this year. We're going dove hunting this year. Probably go duck hunting again this year. I've really gotten into like the bird hunting. I didn't do it this year. I really wanted to go turkey hunting.
I grew up hunting in South Texas, and I mean, I have 3 sisters, and I was daddy's only little boy.
Okay.
And and I was the last one to get married out of the 3. So when Thanksgiving came around, I was the only kid without a spouse family to divvy up with. So Dad and I would pack up and go to the lease for 4 or 5 days, and 3 years in a row, I shot a turkey on Turkey Day.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we cooked up a couple of drumsticks for dinner. They always tasted terrible, but we had turkey on Thanksgiving at the deer lease 3 years in a row. It was really cool. My dad was always pumped up about it. So.
I have heard with wild turkey that it's one of those deals you can't roast it like you would one from the grocery store. They're just not the same. And so you want to make like sausage.
Yeah.
You want to make what's that German dish where you like pound it and bread it and
Streusel?
No, schnitzel.
schnitzel. That's the one.
The other one,
Yeah,
my bad.
schnitzel.
Streusel's a dessert. You want some turkey dessert?
Sounds like a chopped ingredient. Make turkey for dessert.
It's a tough meat. I would love for somebody to cook some wild turkey for me to where I would like it. Like I enjoy hunting them, and everybody at camp would eat them, and I would take one bite and just kind of do like the fake fork movement. And so I was like, yeah, it's great, Dad, thanks.
How are they cooking them though? Just over the fire?
Well, we had a smoker down there, so we would smoke them sometimes, and then we would use the Allegro marinade. Is great. It's one of my favorites. I like to put it in hamburger meat and beef and stuff like that. But my dad would always buy the hickory flavored one, and hickory is my least favorite of the all marinades of all time. It was like, so you had wild turkey, which already wasn't my favorite, and then hickory on top of that, and I was like, are you trying to make this terrible for me? But thanks, Dad, it was delicious. I really hope he doesn't listen to this. It'll break his heart.
I'm sending him the
You
link.
are? I bet you are.
Yeah, he's like, I'll make her prove her love to me.
Yeah, sorry, Randy. Just please don't make me eat wild turkey anymore. I'll eat anything else down there. But no, it was great. I mean, that was the only time I got to be an only child, was when I went on hunting and fishing trips with my dad, and I was into it already. So then you get to be, and I'm a twin on top of that. So
are
it's
you
like,
really?
Oh yeah, it's like double time, no alone time, only child time, and so it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Identical or?
Oh no.
Okay.
I mean, so the only thing identical about us was the fact that we were both college athletes, but I was a catcher, so I had to get as small and low as possible, and she was a middle blocker. And so even our positions were opposites, and, hair down to here, and just our career paths. So we had college sports, went into insurance. My mother was a State Farm agent and then became an executive. And so we had the identical career paths and she's a State Farm agent now. And I went independent because I wanted to do commercial only. And, but other than that, like, we could not be, her hair's down to here, mine's above my ears, and she's, the PTA. I brought the gluten-free cranberry crunch muffins, and I'm like, here's your Shipley and chocolate milk, kids.
Good luck.
Have a good time.
With diabetes later.
There you go. Now go aggravate your teachers.
Not my problem anymore.
Yeah, you're on their clock. So, but yeah, no, but we get along really well. We all do, but it was just very polar. I mean, we were roommates for 9 months. So that's about the only thing that's similar about us. So.
Oh.
Very, very eclectic group.
Just so you know, Neil from Ontario says hello. I don't
Hello,
know.
Neil.
Yeah.
What's up?
But now plumbing.
Yes.
By the way, where'd you play college ball?
Southern Miss.
Southern Miss.
Yes, sir.
Are you from Mississippi?
I am not. I am from Alvin, Texas.
Alvin, Texas.
Born and
Okay.
raised in Alvin, and Nolan was great. He showed up at all the state tournaments. My twin sister, they went to state twice. I will say this, Nolan, you didn't come to the state water polo playoff that I got to play in, and I was a little upset, but that's okay. It wasn't a UIL sport, but it's all right, Nolan. But yeah, no, he would come to the girls' sports, and I mean, our guys' sports at that time. Shout out to all my football buddies. I love you guys, but y'all didn't make it anywhere. So the only time I got to see Nolan was at volleyball state champion, but playoffs. But
Well, so real quick we've been talking now for almost 15 minutes, but so everybody knows who you guys are. Why don't you guys take a second and just introduce yourselves so everybody knows. You start.
No, I'm Zachary Fisher. I'm the plumber.
The plumber. The plumber. And
I'm Laura Fisher, and I'm Zachary's wife, and I'm the CEO of Fisher Family Plumbing.
okay.
I'm Alicia Fisher, Zachary's sister, and I'm the chaos coordinator and Laura Wrangler.
Yes, she is. She has probably the most vital role in the company.
From what I'm gathering, those role titles are synonymous.
Yes.
You know, but it's important to say both.
Yeah. No, Alicia does all of our marketing. She did pretty much from day one. And we had another friend who was helping us out. Shout out to Renee Stevens, and got us off. And then, she was moving back from Florida, and it's like, all right, I need your help. Let's go. Let's do this. Really wanted to incorporate as much family as we could.
Yeah.
And, she's brilliant at it. And
Well, that's how we met. I mean, that's how we got
Yeah.
connected. Is she showed up at one of our live events, and I think we were talking after the show.
Yep.
Yeah.
After it ended.
And it was like, oh, this sounds cool. And we hadn't had plumbing on in a while, so that's
good.
Yeah. So
Well, yeah. And when
Someone's cool.
I introduced myself, he was like, "I think you follow us." I was like, "Yeah, I kind of like all your posts. I wanted to make sure you knew who I was." And
stalking you a little bit.
it's fine, but hey, I didn't slide into their DMs. I waited to meet them in person. Okay, I did it the right way. I didn't want to be like one of those weirdos. So it's fine. Now here we are.
DMs are fine. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I want people to know that we do pay attention. Like we do, we look at, a lot of people say don't read the comments, and we read the comments. Like everybody,
You have to.
It's one, because we it's fun to find the crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. We don't engage with it at all, but we do watch the comments. We pay attention to the people that are watching the show. So it is a good way to get connected to us. But we don't mind people sending us messages and stuff like that. That's fine.
I'll just send you a funny meme from time to time.
That's fine.
That's me.
Send it on over.
Sarcasm is my love language.
And so Fisher Family Plumbing, do you guys focus mainly on residential? Do you do commercial?
We do both.
Yeah.
We started it with a grand idea that in the long term, we plan on having a residential department, commercial department, and new construction or in construction department. And,
Okay.
And we've already pretty much hired out the guys that we envision running those divisions for us in the future. And so we're focused on laying all the foundation, all the groundwork. I'm about to celebrate our first year end of the month, and so far so good.
Yeah.
And got a
We've
rocking
grown.
team, and
Yeah.
we had a vision from the very beginning. I had a vision 3 years ago. 2 weeks into dating Zach, I just looked at him, and with my background as a commercial insurance agent, and I kind of focused on contractors and hearing all their woes and ways of doing everything, and then meeting him, and I was like, we're totally gonna start our own plumbing company one day. I just 2 weeks in, I was like, this is happening, and we got married a year later, and now here we are.
I like residential plumbing.
Yeah, that's what you enjoy.
Yeah.
What is it that you like about it?
No, I like it. It's one-on-one with the customer, so I get to meet the people in our neighborhood. So I see a lot of neighbors, and then I go to their house, and then I go and I see them at the grocery store. And so it's just helping out with simple problems, and I like to teach them plumbing so people can more understand plumbing, because half the time I go in somebody's house, they don't understand it whatsoever. And so I could try to get them to understand exactly what's happening, why it happened, and then how to keep it from happening again in the future.
Yeah.
And by far, just helping people, man.
What do you find that most people don't understand the most about their homes and the plumbing infrastructure there that you're having to
Definitely
educate
drains.
them. The what? Drains.
Drains.
Okay. What about them though?
It's because they never see them.
Okay.
95% of your life, your drains are working perfectly fine.
Sure.
And then out of nowhere, it sits there and it backs up.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could have multiple different types of stoppages. Your lavatory sink in your bathroom sink backs up. It's backing up by itself. Nobody's running water, but it's still filling up with water, and it's from the AC condensate. And so just teaching people how they can treat their drains to prevent those issues from happening again is pretty cool.
So, like, what kind of things do you recommend that they do to, like, because I'm thinking about, like, you know, like an older married couple that's had the kids move out of the house. They got a 2-story home. There's a bathroom upstairs they don't use anymore. Mm-hmm. They may have an upstairs drain that backs up, and they don't even know. Yeah. And, like, what would you tell them, like, is it something they just need to go, like, peek in on from time to time? Or, like, what do they need to be doing?
So there's multiple ways, and there's a lot of different ways that everybody says you can treat those drains for the AC condensates. There's bleach down it, vinegar down it. Mm-hmm. There's products that you can put down it. So it's just a personal preference. And because you have the AC guys and then you have the plumbers, and they're all kind of saying the same thing, but all a little bit different. Sure. On treating those drains, but definitely going up there once a week at least to run. You at least need to run water in drains, because if the water evaporates out of the drains, next thing you know, you have sewer gas smell coming in your house. Yeah. Because all that P-trap dries up. Mm-hmm. So definitely going up there periodically.
So it's not just as simple as, like, hey, just close that, seal the, what's the stopper in the bottom.
Yeah, no, there's no just stopping the bottom, plunging the stopper down to stop anything from going through.
That's not gonna do anything. No.
On the AC condensation line is where there's a misconception about what's actually clogging it, right? Or is that something different that I'm thinking of? I'm like plumber by proxy.
No, I got you. Yeah,
we're still learning.
I'm still learning.
No, so a lot of people say it's algae.
Okay.
A lot of people call it algae growing in your AC unit on your coils.
Because it's green?
Yeah, or it's brown, it's white, it's green, it's black. Yeah. And you have to have sunlight for algae, because algae's green from photosynthesis. Right. Well, your AC unit is 40 to 50 degrees, pitch black, and 100% humidity. Yeah. It's a biofilm. It's actually a fungi. It's classified as a fungi.
It's growing mushrooms.
Essentially. I guess you could put
not the fun kind. Not the fun guy.
No DMT in those, though.
Yeah. No.
What's that?
Not that we know anything about that.
No.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm not disappointed.
Hi, Mom.
Talking about microdosing people, it's fine. It's good for the VA. It's good for us. So, what's the remedy for that?
So, doing the bleach down the drain from the AC condensate line in the attic down will help with that. But also they do have products like New Line that is a AC drain conditioner and is supposed to kill all the biofilm. And so some of them are a 3-month treatment, some are a 1-month treatment. All AC companies and a lot of plumbers will do chlorine tablets in there to kill it. That works as well. So it's just if you want to get it away from your sink, then rerouting it outside to your outside sewer or to a gravel pit outside, and that can totally eliminate that scenario of your sink backing up from it.
So that's the ultimate treatment, is just do a reroute, get it over with.
Okay.
And, we actually do have $200 off reroutes right now.
No, just saying.
Sorry.
Promotion. That's our marketing manager. Sorry. It's her job.
There's no offer.
No, I was actually going to ask, because, like, I ask questions sometimes based off, like, my own home experience, but, like, people that have been listening to the show for a long time knows that my house is wackadoo. And so, like, it's almost it's like the exception that proves the rule most of the time. You know what I mean? Because, like, my condensate line, I know exactly where it is, and it's not connected to anything other than itself. Like, it's a line that runs outside the house and goes.
Well, and that's good, because now it's not going to clog your sinks.
Right. And
exactly.
And so, like, what, like, if it's not the AC condensate line, then, like, on mine, what would be, like, the common cause for, like, a common blockage in the line then?
Hair
and
build up every time you wash your hands, you use products, all that stuff that goes in that water, it all connects in that drain, and then sooner or later, with all the hair and all the other buildup from all the other products, it just will start causing blockages.
Just builds up over time.
Yeah.
And yummy things. happening down there.
Well, I mean, and with like, which I know is like the bane of like most people's existence, like people in the service industry's existence anyway, is like the thing underneath the drain in the kitchen sink. Can't think of the name of it.
Garbage disposal.
Garbage disposal. Thank you.
Yes.
Like people pour all kinds of crap down the sink because they think that they have a garbage disposal.
Watch out.
Yeah,
like,
this is his trigger point.
like me, like I have a jar on top. I may be old school for doing this. I don't know, but like I have a jar on top of my fridge, and it's just for grease for when I cook.
Bacon grease.
Because I'm not gonna pour that. It's not to like, I'm not saving it to like cure meat. I'm saving it so it doesn't go down the drain and I'll have a big clog later on.
Yeah.
But like I know that there has to be a section of people out there that just like whatever they cook in the stove just goes right down the drain.
Yes, those are our customers.
Your customers.
Yes.
We don't want to disparage you people.
It's like on one hand, don't do it, but on the other hand, if you do,
Please keep it up.
Here's our magnet. Put it right next to that sink on your fridge, please.
The best thing I can say is don't put anything down the disposal.
Right.
And I've been to calls where they throw an entire squash down there.
Oh my
Or
gosh.
they have
Why?
an entire Tupperware full of broccoli. And it's a 1-year-old house, so there is no grease buildup really on the drains already. Mm-hmm. And so that's what just clogged it up because it's a lot of stuff going into that one drain at one time. But grease, man, that's what gets everybody.
Yes.
And
It gets down there and congeals.
Yes.
I've actually seen a picture of like, I guess it's where plumbing goes out to the ocean or something, like to big massive water, and there's just tons of grease just built up around that. It is disgusting, and I think of it every time I clean something in my sink. But that's why you scrape it into a jar or the trash can, and then you wipe it with the paper towel before you start cleaning it. Because even that little bit, I mean, it all adds up.
It does. We actually, right before Thanksgiving, our company was all of about 4 months old or so.
That video you made?
I made a video and I was like, your garbage disposal is not a trash can. Stop throwing crap down your garbage disposal. It's only for the oopsies that get by you.
Yeah.
That's it.
The people that understand this are septic tank people.
Yes.
Yes.
They're
Because-
the only people that get it.
Yeah.
Yes. And because they're the ones that get it, because they have to pay that big
They
bill
have
to
to.
have the thing cleaned out later on, and then it's nasty. But like people that don't have septic systems, they just don't care.
Yeah. Drains are meant for things that flow, not
Yeah.
that get gummy or hard or congeal. It's
Rice
for liquid.
rice
Fun
and noodles
words.
are
Oh
a
my
big
gosh.
thing.
Oh, dude, rice has got to be the worst.
Noodles are.
Noodles are worse than rice?
Yeah, because definitely during winter, all the homemade chicken soups,
Oh, gosh.
chicken noodle soups, and they're the big egg noodles, and then everything is completely just jam-packed. And by the time I get there, it all soaks up that water.
And just expands.
It expands even more, so it's even, it's not,
And
It's
noodles
kinda
are bigger,
fun.
like rice I feel like is small, so it can kind of flow through a little more.
no.
Well, you said
So
noodles are worse than rice.
I guess
That's my thought
lesson
process.
is if you have a roommate that you're really mad at and you're getting kicked out, just throw a tub of spaghetti down the garbage disposal and be like, all right, peace out.
Peace. Have a good life.
Yeah. Yeah,
Don't
that's good
encourage
stuff.
people. Come on.
No, I'm sorry. That's the way my brain works. Like,
And just make sure they have one of our cards if you're going to do it.
and we'll charge them double for kicking you out of the house.
Like on a side
Just kidding.
note,
We won't do
it's kind of crazy that garbage disposals, you can buy 1 horsepower, you can buy the 1.1s, you can get bigger garbage disposals for your house, and then they add more to the list of what you can put down it. And so it's like it'll say chicken bones, it'll say harder
my gosh.
substances. And so it's like people are just believing if I buy a more expensive garbage disposal that it's going to help their drain flow better.
Yeah.
Their drain size never changed.
It's not a bigger hole.
Yeah.
They're just thinking they can Tim the Toolman Taylor this chicken bone down the drain.
Exactly.
That's just not going to happen.
No.
So,
Yeah, it was like
It's
the
like,
first
but why
time
would you
I
want to?
Yeah, the first time I made dinner for Zach and I was cleaning up and he was like, stop. And I was like, what? And he was like, don't put that down at the disposal. And I was like, but I'm doing dishes.
Trash is
So you were
right
doing
He's like,
there.
the trash can's
You were
right there.
doing dishes?
Yeah, only because I was trying to impress him.
I know, like,
totally
it's that one
catfished
time.
him. I totally catfished him. I like cleaned and cooked and here you go, honey. This is what life with me is going to be like. And then,
Psych.
just kidding. Yep, nope. Not Betty Crocker, sorry.
well,
I mean, for cleaning wise. I'll make you anything you want, but I'm not going to clean or do dishes. Not going to do it.
It'll taste good, but you got to clean it up
Yep.
afterwards.
You're gonna have to work for it after
you
the
go.
fact.
Yep.
That's the rule in our house. I mean, like I do most of the cooking, and it's like, kids, get in there. Like you ate it, right? Come on.
Yeah.
Like clean
Can't
the
wait
dishes.
do it.
till mine are old enough.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, mine are too young.
That's why you have cheap dishes at the outset. You
Yeah.
can just or paper.
Paper plates.
Best thing ever when you've got small children.
Very biodegradable. Yeah, it's good.
Sure.
Probably get ate up in the comment section for that one.
Yeah. Sorry.
Have real plates, Greg.
Just FYI for those people, I don't use them
Yeah.
except for parties. But
Well, so what are some of the other like big trends you guys are seeing? I mean, like, is it? I mean, the stuff I hear about is like clear ice. Stuff I hear about is tankless water heaters. Stuff I hear about. I mean, clogged drains are obviously the big one. Repiping houses, that's another big one.
Yeah.
Big
I
one.
mean, what are you guys hearing? I mean, because like I know, like anytime in Texas we have a freeze, people start thinking about repiping, going over to PEX. But I mean, are you guys still hearing about that kind of stuff? Is it still
We have a couple
happening?
of
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's not just because of a freeze. Galvanized or copper can spring leaks anytime.
Sure.
And just because they're 30, 40, 50 years old. But there's two types of PEX. There's PEX A and PEX B.
Mm-hmm.
PEX A can expand up to 3 times its size before busting.
Right.
PEX B, it's as flexible,
Uh-huh.
but it'll sit there and split pretty quickly as well.
Really?
It's better than copper.
What's
It's better than it's definitely a better piping for that sense.
Uh-huh.
But the biggest issue with any kind of PEX is rodents.
Oh
You
yeah.
know about this.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, cause they'll chew right up to the membrane on those things, and then it's like a slow leak.
Oh no! Typically, whenever they hit them, because they sit there and cave into it, carve into it,
Uh-huh.
and then that last one, they sit there and they fully puncture it, so it becomes a spray.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to 2 different houses in the past 3 months.
Really?
Because of one, the first one was a squirrel, and it just luckily it was over the back patio of this house, so it didn't flood it.
Oh, that's good.
And then the second one here in the Woodlands, sat there, went and fixed one day.
Mm-hmm.
Told them they need to call exterminator. 12 hours later, she was calling the opposite end of her house. Sat there in the wall, chewed that one up.
Oh,
So I
jeez.
repaired that one. And then it was another 16 or 18 hours later, she called again. Totally different side of the house again, in another corner.
Oh my
The
gosh.
mouse chewed that one
Oh
up.
my gosh. Yeah, I mean, like every time I've run across it, I mean, at least in pest control, like it's like they chewed right up to that point, and then it not a spray, but it's like a drip, and it was at least in all the ones I've been brought in on, and it was like, hey, this is something that we just started noticing, and it's like a small wet spot in the sheetrock, and then it became a bubble. And it just got bigger and bigger, but slowly, and so they didn't notice it as much.
Oh, yeah.
And so they didn't know what they were like, what's, but by the time they figured out what was going on, it was almost too late,
Yeah.
you know, and then you've got to go up there and repair it.
Gotta
and
call the dry guys.
you got mildew going on, you got mold going on, you got a dry, sheetrock that needs repair, you got plumbing that needs repair. And so like the last thing on their mind is like catch the squirrel. So.
Well, but sometimes those the stuff y'all use to kill rodents, like mice and stuff like that, will make them super thirsty.
There are products out there that do that. I mean, we don't use any of them for that very reason, because I mean they'll start chewing into pipes to do that.
And I think that's what happened with that house.
Yeah,
That I was at.
It's. I mean, honestly, most of the time it's techs that just don't know what they're doing, or they've got products on their trucks and it says rodent, and they just use it,
Yeah.
and it's stuff that's intended for the exterior, not the interior. But
That's why you have to know who you're going with.
Yeah, that's-
for these
What are
problems.
you
Yeah,
using?
are they knowledgeable?
yeah, that I mean, it's because that is something that we run up against a bunch. It's like, well, isn't this just gonna make them thirsty? It's like, well, yeah, if I use this one over here.
Yeah.
But like this is this one. But like you can't tell, most of the time in our business, you just can't tell people that. They're like, well, is it a bait? Oh, that's going to make them thirsty. And that's true of some,
Yeah.
not all. So it does happen, and that's probably why you're running up against that. So, but
I'm surprised. We're lucky when we moved into the house that we live in now. About not even 3-4 weeks later, we started seeing droppings everywhere. I mean, everywhere. But it was mainly in like, behind the fridge, and I mean, they were by the time we realized what we were completely infested with mice, so we actually got lucky. They didn't chew through.
Not a single
Any-
patch was chewed through.
Yeah, nothing.
That's good.
Thank goodness. So must have used that good bait, you know. But yeah, it was a whole. I mean, it took. There was one I've worked from home since 2017, just in my insurance business, and our home. Now we have our home office for FFP, and I remember being in bed on my laptop and just watching a mouse like just run across the room, and then I chased it into the closet and. You know, what am I going to do? Like, beat it down with a bat. But I went in there to try to, like, where did it go? And it was on the clothes, and it jumped straight at me. And I was like, okay, now I'm done. All right, we got to do something about this. This is not, because I can't work in this position. They don't bother me, because we would get them in we had this 1970 Airstream at our deer lease down in Freer, Texas. And
they're getting that thing and just
oh my God, they were
make
everywhere.
happy.
Yeah, so we were like, you know, we just didn't even worry about it. And you would wake up and you'd have mice crawling across you, and so it was. They don't bother me. They didn't freak me out. If anything, it was almost became like a hunting game with the kids. We would go check the traps when we got home, or in the morning, like, Mom, let's go see if we got any more mice, and and we would get one, and it was fun. Yeah. We don't have them anymore, so now we're bored.
Infestation.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you guys, because I'm far enough away from it now, we can actually talk about it. Like, one of the biggest jobs I've ever done rodent-wise was at the Intercontinental Airport here in Houston.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a crazy... they're like the size of otters.
Yeah, cats.
But we were actually at the airport getting ready to fly out to Vegas. I was taking my kids and my wife and my mom and my sister to the Grand Canyon. And we took, we're family business. We always take the business phone with us, even though everybody else is here working. And one of my clients called me, and he said, "Hey, Craig, how quick can you get to the airport?" And I was like, I'm at the airport. Yeah. He's like, "Don't mess with me." And I'm like, "No, I'm literally at the airport and I'm getting ready to fly out." And he goes, "When are you flying out?" And I said, "In about an hour." He goes, What
terminal?
What terminal are you at?" And I was like, I'm in Terminal C." He goes, "Which gate?" I told him the gate, and he goes, "I'll be there in 5 minutes." Came and got me, and he goes, "So I guess you've already heard." And I was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And he goes, "The video that went viral on TikTok?" And I was like, "I have no idea, dude. What are you talking about?" And so he pulls out his phone and shows me. And it's this video of these 4 rats eating out of the service line of the Panda Express in one of the terminals.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, this is happening in the daylight.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, "You got to be kidding me." And he's like, "No." And I was like, "Okay." He goes, "What can you do?" And I was like,
burn it down.
So I mean, like there's much more to it than that, but I mean, like basically, I went to work the whole time I was on vacation.
I was,
just getting ready for that job. My guys kind of stepped in and took over while I was out of town, and we ended up taking over a warehouse just to do prep work.
How long did it take?
It took us 4 days just to put out everything we needed to put out.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh.
So, and there's a lot more to it than that. I mean, but that was like all we ended up doing there.
Yeah.
We didn't have any follow up. They just kind of wanted somebody to come in and do something, because I didn't realize this. United Airlines controls all of Intercontinental. Like, they control all the concessions. They control every terminal, every gate. They're in charge of the entire airport system out there.
In charge of everything except for rodent control.
Well, no, they had a contract with a big multinational conglomerate that wasn't doing the job, wasn't paying attention.
Apparently, yeah.
And so they ended up awarding the contract to another local company, and I hope it's getting taken care of now. I don't know.
We were just there not too long ago.
I'm not going to eat at Panda Express.
I don't recommend it.
This doesn't look like a noodle. What is this?
But I don't know that it was their fault. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, how does it get so bad? Like, that did come out of nowhere.
Well, because I learned so much just by doing that job, because we got to walk around sort of the infrastructure of the airport, and most of what everybody sees is actually the 3rd floor. And so there's 2 floors below all that. And so there's a lot of stuff happening underneath you that you never see. And
rodent farming. That's fun. Yeah.
A lot of that is grease traps that are not maintained and not cleaned out. or at least they weren't when we were there. Which I mean, like that. I mean, I don't know how you even who you hold accountable for that. I don't know who the person is, but they probably don't have their job anymore.
I would hope not. See, every time you say Panda Express now, I hope you think about that, because Chinese food is his go-to. What do you want for dinner? Chinese food.
Yeah,
no, it's my least favorite.
Yeah, well, I mean, of the Chinese food, Panda Express is probably my least favorite. Yeah. I mean,
it doesn't matter.
It's a personal preference. I mean, like I'm sure they do a fine job.
No, Panda Express is on the bottom.
It is now.
No, it always has been.
Always has been?
I love real Chinese food.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
not
good.
real Chinese food, but our version of Chinese.
Our version, American Chinese.
Anything
American Chinese.
Chinese buffet style. Deep fry it and throw it into sweet sauce, and
Hey.
he's happy.
How can you go wrong?
That's that good stuff.
Yeah, it is real good.
No, I'm getting really hungry.
So I'll tell you this. I mean, do you have a Blackstone?
No, not yet.
No.
Don't look at me.
Listen, this is the whole reason
We're
you should
both looking at
have
me.
one. It's because you will never have as good a fried rice as you have unless you have your own Blackstone.
I know.
It's so good.
I went to Academy this weekend. They were staring at me in the face like Father's Day, Father's Day.
They're on sale probably right now
They
too.
are.
I
I
know.
forget it's
All right.
Father's Day next week.
Yeah.
Set one
yeah.
aside for me, Academy. There's your surprise. Happy
You know,
Father's
if
Day. You get
Blackstone's looking for
Blackstone.
a new show to sponsor, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I will sing their praises even when they don't pay me. So
It's been on the list to get. It's just been, yeah. I mean, we got.
There's so much to get.
that's true.
Well, I got him a smoker. One of the last dad.
Which one?
Holidays or
I got
whatever.
a Pit Boss.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it like the cabinet one or with like
The
the?
Austin XO
Okay.
barrel.
So
It's been good.
He was using it every single weekend, and then we had a power outage, and it tripped it.
I blew the motherboard.
Yeah.
Blew
was
on
it electric?
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy. I got too many kids, man.
Yeah, we had 3 kids, 2 dogs. You know.
Well, I can't babysit nothing right now.
Yeah.
Well, so I got the big cabinet one, and the reason I got it. So you guys don't know my wife, but like she, I mean her background is in nonprofit work, and so she still does that, even though she works with me in the company now, but she also works with like 12 different nonprofits now.
Oh wow.
Awesome.
And I forget which one it was. She came to me. It was right before Thanksgiving. She goes, "Hey, I know it was one called 7 More, and it's a Christian organization that goes and greets men coming out of prison.
Oh, okay.
Usually,
great.
I mean, like most of the time
Yeah.
they don't have like families there
Sure.
and stuff like that, and like they're released, but like they don't. There's no
Yeah,
one there for
nowhere
them.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like they provide them with stuff
Yeah.
and love and care, and you know, and it's based off that passage, like how many times should you forgive? 70 times 7. So it's like 7
I love
more.
that.
So the guy's coming out. So anyway, she was like, "Hey, we're gonna do Thanksgiving dinner for all the guys coming out of prison on Thanksgiving." I was like, "Great, sounds good." She goes, "I need you to make 6 turkeys." I said,
No big
"Okay,"
deal.
because I do most of the cooking in our family, and I said, "Babe, like we have one oven, like I can fit maybe 2 turkeys in that oven. Like there's no way
Yeah.
I can have 6 turkeys for Thanksgiving. Like if you want them warm, if you want them to actually taste good, like
Yeah.
for what I would want to serve these guys."
to kill all the salmonella that might be in
Sure,
there.
sure.
Like,
And she goes, "Well, what can we do?" And I was like, "I mean, like we could buy a smoker that can fix 6 turkeys." And she goes, "Well, just go get it." I was like, "All right."
see, I see what you did there.
Don't
Twist my
leg.
arm.
I have a solution to your problem, wife, but it's going to require me to go get this piece of equipment.
But she knows. At this point, she knows.
Yeah.
She knows what I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, we know you now.
well, and like, look, here's the. Rarely have I used that thing to cook for myself. Mm-hmm. I mean, like it's too like. What am I gonna do? Like, I think we used it last week. I think I made like I think I had like 8 pork butts in that thing.
Oh gosh.
You know, and I was just making barbecue sandwiches for kids at camp. I mean, it was like, when do I cook for me? Never.
Better watch out when we leave. Make sure he hasn't strapped it to the back of the car on the way out of here. 'Cause
I think he's
I
already
can
texted
see
someone.
his.
Listen,
He's
it's
getting
not worth
excited.
stealing. You can just come over here and use it and swim in the pool,
Yeah, I'm down with that.
smoke the meat while you're waiting, sit in the sauna.
Hey.
Yep.
So, come on.
So when y'all
So you're,
do
so you're
your-
moving out. Is that what you're saying? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay, bye. Love you. It's nice knowing you. I'll be at Craig's.
when Y'all do your review for the sauna. Y'all need to do the podcast in the sauna.
That could get weird. I mean, it says for 2 people, but I'm a little larger than Kev, and I might crowd him.
It's okay.
And I don't want to touch him.
Just get cozy.
We're close. We're good buddies. I just
When you're sharing
little too
sweat,
close.
arm sweat, yeah, gross, rubbing elbows.
That's a
in it.
little personal.
it ain't like that.
Yeah.
It'd be good for ratings, you know.
It could be.
You never know. It'll go viral for sure.
Yeah. It's under the red light, so that it would have that going for it. Be a little have a nighttime light.
Oh my. Yeah, what would you even talk about in there? That could get weird real
you
quick.
could.
What
Yeah.
wouldn't you talk about? Nothing's off limits.
This sauna is hot.
Sauna confessions. That'd be great.
It is effective.
It makes me sweat.
Oh, just go plumb for a day in the summer. You don't need a sauna. Just go
that's
into
true.
attics. We made a mistake last August. We had an AC reroute, and we scheduled it for 1:00. We just weren't even thinking. You know, we just launched July 1, and we were busy. You know, thankful. We were so thankful and grateful to the years of networking that we had done. You know, and building my book of business, because I started with 0 clients.
Right.
So all I did was network for years in Spring Woodlands area. And so we were getting calls. You know, we had our networking army out there, and they helped us, you know, spread the word. And so we got busy quick. And so not even thinking, threw it on there. Okay, yeah, 1:00, AC reroute, no problems.
I went through 2 gallons of water and still almost fell out.
Yeah.
It was down the street from Steve Spoon, and he gave me a couple bottles of water.
Yeah, I was
Get through.
texting Steve like, "Hey, Zach's dying. Can he come steal some water?"
Steve understands.
Yeah, he
yeah,
does.
no, he does. Anybody in the trades understands.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Especially insulation. Like, I'm surprised he didn't say, "Hey, I'll trade you if you go tell them that they need to get their attic insulated." Yeah, there you go.
No, he's fixing to move. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So he called me this morning, told me he just sold his house.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I know they had been talking about selling, actually last year they were talking about getting ready to sell it, and you know, then he moved his office location, and we were driving, his new office location's not far from here either.
I saw his box truck on the way here.
Yeah, on the way here.
Yeah, it's over there on 2854.
It is.
Yep. Yeah, which just makes him closer to me, which means he can come and bother me more.
Anytime. I'm surprised he hasn't busted through that door yet.
He might.
Yeah, he could.
You never know, because he's
Shoot him a
probably.
text.
I just sent him his GL renewal, so maybe he's looking for me. I'm like, sorry, buddy.
How do y'all know? How do y'all know Steve?
Well, so I'm.
He didn't arrest you at one point. Did he? Okay.
No, not him. I'm just
See,
kidding.
I learned something right there.
So I'm an independent commercial insurance agent, and I still am. I'm still active.
Okay.
I still have my book of business, and thankful to my 2 assistants at Creekside and the support that I get from Creekside, the agency that I contract through, to let us focus on FFP for a while. But I went out on my own in 2017 as an independent. I was with State Farm for 14 years,
Right.
and my mother was a State Farm exec, and my twin sister was a State Farm agent. And I was the bad apple that fell very far from the tree and said, I think I'll go independent. And I remember my mom sitting me down and saying, let me show you the failure rate of independent agents. And I was like, that's not really what I'm looking for, Mom.
Yeah.
Like, words of encouragement. But no, I get it. She knew the success rate for them, and that was her thing. And but no, I was like, no, I just want to do commercial. I don't want anyone telling me what I need to focus on. I don't want anyone giving me quotas to hit. Like, I just want to do my thing, you know? And got into contractors, and really that became my niche market. So like Steve and, gosh, I probably have to look at a list of, but all my networking buddies, you know, Brian Gessner at Prestige has been a long time client, and Matt Grease, GJ Fuels, he's got a awesome business, and you can get your own gas tank and he'll come fill it up for you on your property.
Oh, nice.
Or just do the actual residential. He's like a residential gas station.
Doesn't he do like fleets too?
Yeah,
like
fleets, for businesses. And so it's awesome. That's kind of how we landed launching a plumbing business, was because I had all my years of working with my business owners and hearing about all the things that do and don't do, or me watching from the outside being like, that's a bad idea, or that's great, I'm going to remember that. And so we started dating, and just saw Zachary's level of like business ethics, and didn't hurt that he was like the number one salesperson at his old company. And so yeah, that's when the wheels really started turning. We were like, hey, we can do this.
She knows Steve Spoon from networking.
Yes.
And he's a client.
Are you making fun of my very long answer to? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm the talker of the couple. Shocker. My bad.
Laura talks.
Yeah. Sorry for that history of my relationship with Steve Spoon. Hi, Steve. Okay, I'll shut up for the next 10 minutes.
No, we want to know about your kindergarten teacher.
That's right.
Yeah. No. I don't remember her name.
That'd be a fun Kevin Bacon game. Steve Spoon and her kindergarten teacher.
Yes.
Like,
How they
we can do it in
connected.
6 moves.
She probably
I
can.
ran into my third grade teacher though through a networking.
Here we go.
Yeah, no, I did. But I'm not going to tell you that story because
Listen,
they're making fun of me. It's
I am
fine.
super thankful that I did not run into my 3rd grade teacher. She's the one that sent me to the principal's office the most.
yeah.
So, yeah.
But
That
did
was-
you deserve it?
Shame.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
I was
well.
a smart aleck. So, but it was like one of those deals. Like I knew that I had that edge, and so like I knew, but like I also knew that I could push it far enough because like she was a new teacher. It was like her first year.
You're like fresh meat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Probably retired. She's like, I can't keep doing this. Are they all going to be like this?
Yeah, I think the way my mom told me, because I don't remember doing this, but she told me like that. I think it was like one of the last times I got sent. Like she got really mad at me. She's like, Craig, what's your problem? I was like, you.
Oh my god.
I was like, you're my problem. And
Oh gosh.
I went again to got
Shocker.
sent back again. So
Yeah, I waited till high school to get in trouble at school. But it was my junior high volleyball coach ended up being my assistant principal, and I signed up for SWATs. I was like, I don't want detention. I got too much to do, so I signed up for SWATs. And yeah. So I'd go in there like, hey, Miss Davenport,
Let's get this
did
over
something
with.
Stupid. Let's get this knocked out. And she was like, well, sure, she was probably waiting on. She's like, I've been waiting for this opportunity, Laura. But we're still friends on Facebook, and told her happy birthday. You're my favorite person to get SWATs from. And yeah, it was
send her a
cool.
little fruit basket at the end of the
Yeah,
year.
right.
Thanks for holding back.
It was good times.
Well, listen, on these, one of the things I hear about a lot when it comes to plumbing are the tankless. Are you guys a big fan of those?
Yes and no. Like
Okay.
they work well, but they can also have more issues
Okay.
because there's a lot more moving parts.
Oh, okay.
And with the tank, you have essentially 3-4 parts.
Right.
You have a couple things you need to change out every 2-3 years for maintenance, flush it. But with the tankless, you also have to flush it. It also requires a solution, so it costs a little bit more to maintain it.
What do you mean it requires a solution?
So there's actually a descaler.
Oh, okay, like
We
a
use.
chemical solution.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that we have to run through it for about 45 minutes.
How often?
Once a year.
Once a
annually.
year. Okay.
It works really well for families that with 3+ kids and they're older and everybody's taking a 20-30 minute shower.
Yeah.
And so
Because it's constant hot water.
it's constant.
Yeah.
And so is it worth it or not? That all depends on the customer itself. And you let them make their own decision. If the first question I ask is, how many people live in the house? They're like 2. I'm like, do you need it?
Yeah.
Because it is a more expensive piece of equipment.
Yeah.
It costs a lot more to sit there. It's a lot more intensive on the installation rather than just switching out with another tank or two.
And is it really only efficient if it's like natural gas or something like that?
Yeah. Well, either way, it's efficient, whether it's natural gas, propane, or electrical, because instead of heating up water, if you're gone for a week, those tanks are going to be constantly heating it up no matter what. But if you're gone for a week and have a tankless, if you don't run water, then you're not using the electricity, gas, or propane.
So sorry, I lost a camera there. I missed part of what you were saying. I was trying to figure out what's
Oh, no,
going on.
you're good.
Let me see if I can get it back on here for a second.
So we actually got a call today with someone who's they're interested in getting quotes for a tankless because their neighbor has a tank water heater in their attic and it flooded their house.
Yeah.
So there is that aspect to it too, but that's also why we encourage people when they do get new water heaters or we come and do maintenance on it, they need a flood stop. Like if you've got a water heater in your attic and you don't have a flood stop, you want one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll save you a lot of money.
Well,
a
no
lot of
matter
insurance
what,
claims and
a water leak in the attic is a water leak in the attic.
Yeah.
If it's a big leak, it's going to cause damage. The only difference is with the tank, even if you turn off the water, you still have 40 gallons, 50 gallons. With a tankless, it only holds about a gallon. So
and it's usually got like a cutoff on it. If there's like a don't the tankless have like an internal system that cuts it off if it detects a leak or something?
No, sir.
No, okay.
And so it'll still leak out out of the casing into the pan. But let's just say if it sprays out a little bit, then the water's not going to get caught into the pan.
I got you.
And so my recommendation is installing a flood stop, whether it's a tankless or a single tank or a double tank. It's a super easy thing to install on the cold water inlet. A sensor goes into the pan, and as soon as water hits that sensor, it shuts off the water going to that tankless or that tank.
I got you.
So there's flood stops for tankless and for tank?
It's the same thing. It just goes on the water line.
Okay. The more you know.
Yeah, we're learning.
See, I'm learning. I'm still learning.
We answer the phones, so I know we're not supposed to talk plumbing because we're not licensed, but, people ask us questions, and so we try really hard not to answer them and get ourselves in trouble.
Like, look, I'll say this, but don't tell Zach.
Don't tell Zach I told you.
In case it's wrong.
No, but one of the trying to remember some feedback that we got after an install, a tankless install, was that the water flow was not as strong, but they had the heat set so high that there's no way. They
were trying to run a master shower and the master tub all at one time, but had the water up to 140 degrees on the tankless. And it's like you're only trying to pull hot water to these. It's going to have to slow down the flow rate so it can keep up with the demand.
Okay.
Yeah, with the temperature demand.
But with two tanks,
that's a crazy hot shower, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's blistering.
No, I've never seen anybody have this complaint before.
Yeah.
But I've never had anybody go up that high, and I've never had so many people try to do one thing all at one time.
Yeah. I will say this though. I mean, like on a lot of these new tub controls, like they put those guards on them now where you can't make the water as hot.
Yeah.
I've had to take those out. I mean, just because it seems like it's such a cool temperature that they're trying to keep the water at now.
No, so with mowing, you could sit there. There is one piece that you can turn.
Yeah, it's like a little plastic piece on the inside that you.
And if somebody doesn't install that correctly, then you're not going to get fully hot water,
right?
Because it's not doing the full turn. With Delta, you can actually sit there and adjust it.
Okay.
And so if they don't adjust it all the way how you like it before they put it in, they leave. You get warm water because you go and touch it to make sure that everything's good.
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll take a hot shower tonight. And then it's not hot. It's just warm.
Yeah.
That's because they didn't adjust it properly when installing.
Yeah, the reason they're doing that is they're putting, it's called posi temps, and it makes sure that there's positive pressure from both sides. So there is no kids scalding themselves.
Right.
So with them old school 3
you can burn yourself all day long.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like shower roulette.
I get it. I mean, it's just like a weird kind of it's like, okay, I didn't want to take an 85 degree bath.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody does.
No.
But it seems like that's like that's just what it's set up as.
It's really on the plumber that puts it in.
Okay. Because it has a default, and you're supposed to adjust it from there.
On Deltas it is.
On Deltas.
On mowing, if you just install it correctly, then it'll do it.
Oh, really?
Itself. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So is there? I mean, other than just that, do you find there's a big difference between those two? I mean, those are kind of the two big brand names when it comes to.
It's there's not really. It all heats water.
Lets the water out.
Yeah, it depends. Do you want it constantly? It's because it's a tankless. A lot of people think it's instant hot water.
Right.
It's endless hot water. It still takes the same amount of time for that hot water to get to your.
Right, because it's got to come all the way through over there to wherever it's coming from.
Exactly.
Yeah. Unless
you put if you put a return line or if you put a Grumpus pump on it or something like that. But a tankless gives you the ability to have endless hot water. So you could sit there, you can run a shower and a bath, and then somebody could be washing their hands or somebody could be, doing dishes in the kitchen while there's a bath going on, and nobody has to worry about running out of hot water. Because the big thing is laundry. So much laundry to do. You have 3 kids.
like
you
a load a
you
day,
can't do
keep up.
laundry and give baths at the same time
Right.
if you only have one single tank. Or even with two, you could run out pretty quick.
Sure.
If you're doing laundry and then have 3 baths to do. Somebody's going to be taking a cold bath.
Yeah. Is there a top end to these things? I mean, it's what I'm asking is, like, if the dishwasher's running while I'm taking a bath and I'm doing a load of laundry and then someone else is taking a shower. At what point am I going to see like a diminish in that tankless?
Well, it depends on the size of tankless.
Okay.
And so there's different size tanklesses that are rated for so many gallons per minute of hot water.
Yeah.
And it also depends on the size of the house as well. And so you could easily exceed it, but it's a lot harder to than with a tank.
So if I do that, is the water just going to be cooler, or like what's going to happen?
Yeah, it's going to be cooler. It's not going to be sending out the water that it needs to be sending out. It can sit there and slow the flow rate because there's a pump inside that tank.
Right.
And so it'll slow
It'll
that
slow
down
down.
actually.
So the pressure goes down.
Yeah, so until something stops,
Yeah.
and then it'll be able to pick back up.
And see, like, I mean, I would imagine plumbers like you are going to be explaining that to their clients.
Yeah.
But this is why I like this show, is because it gives homeowners the opportunity to go like, okay, that's a question I didn't know I needed to ask, or a scenario I needed to know to present to my plumber. Like, hey, look, there's a situation. I have 5 kids. There's a situation where, like, I'm going to be running the dishwasher. I'm going to be running the washing machine. There's going to be 2 kids taking a bath and all, like, and some plumbers are going to be going, okay, like, how can I sell them a tankless water heater and then just get out of here?
Yeah.
Rather than what do you need?
Exactly.
What's going to actually fulfill what's going to make you happy in your home?
Well, a lot of customers really don't know what they need. Mm-hmm. They have an idea of what they want,
Right.
and so like that's where the education comes in, and that's what I like about it: the educating as much as possible.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the
And-
difference between Fisher Family Plumbing and a lot of those other ones is we want to make sure people are making the right decision for them and not just for us to make a little bit of extra money and take
Yeah.
advantage.
If one of my guys is upselling just to upsell, they're gonna
No, but
they're
like-
gonna need to go job shopping is
with
what
the-
they're gonna need to do. So we
But with
don't-
the educating, we're all learning in the field every day.
Right.
There's something that we haven't ran into or a question that we've never been asked before. And so there's always a team of people like my mentors that taught me how to plumb that I can sit there and call and ask those questions. They've been plumbing 27 years,
Right.
30 years. And so it's, I love to learn. And so I like to teach people so they can, like I said a while ago, the more educated they are, they can make the best decision for them.
Right.
And in the long run, it's not what we think the customer needs or what the customer wants. It's exactly what they want.
I remember listening to Zach one of the first times he was explaining tankless versus tank to a client, and he was asking these questions, but and I couldn't hear the client on the other end, just him, and I almost in my head I was like, wait, don't we want to sell tankless? Like, why are you talking them out of it? Isn't that like a good the big new thing to have? And
Yeah.
but the way he was answering their questions and then leading them down the path based on your answers, that doesn't really sound like your solution. And so he explained that to me. He's like, no, I'm not against tankless. I'm indifferent, but I'm going to ask them what it is. And I was like, oh, okay, just making sure you're not like tankless hating or anything over here.
I give pros and cons.
Yeah.
If you don't have a backup generator for your house during the winter, your power goes out, you have no power to your house whatsoever, your tankless isn't working. You have no hot water.
Right.
But with the tank,
You do.
you'll have essentially endless hot water because you just wait 30 minutes
Gas,
and then it's
yeah.
hot again.
Yeah.
And so it's there's pros and cons to every single thing. If you only have a single water heater, well, even if you have a double, we have to do gas sizing chart to make sure that the gas is sufficient enough for that tankless.
Yeah.
And so, installs can vary by price depending on what needs to happen.
Right.
to
Yeah,
get
because
that.
we tried to get a tankless for our place, and we didn't have a big enough natural gas supply line. Because I think there's like a difference in like the supply line size that you need for all tankless.
Yeah, every single one's different. Some you can actually, they say in the paperwork that you can run 1/2 inch. But you also have to size your gas as what if the stove is on, what if the oven's on and the dryer's on, and so you have to take into account for all measures.
Right.
And so that's why you have to just get a base BTU count for the entire house and then do the math from there and draw it out.
How do you get a base BTU for the house?
Well, every single appliance has a BTU rating.
Okay, so you just find them and add them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for instance, tank water heaters are 49,000
Okay.
BTUs, and then tanklesses are 199,000 BTUs. So essentially, it's 4 times the amount of a tank.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I love it when you speak BTUs to me. Sorry, some plumbing humor for you. These are the ways I get under his skin.
Well, so what about like the some of the other ones I've seen are like these small tankless, like that are just like the one room under the sink.
Oh, point of use.
Yeah.
Yeah, those can work.
But those are electric typically, right?
Yeah, they a lot of them just plug into a normal outlet.
Yeah. Do they work pretty good? I mean, like I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, they can work fine. Like if somebody has a complaint of having to wait, 5 minutes for it to get to the kitchen sink specifically,
Right.
then you can get a point of use water heater just for that sink, and you'll have endless hot water for that.
So that's
sink.
better for like
Water
those
use.
really large houses when like the
run is
tanks
long. Yeah.
it's like too far. It takes forever. Okay.
Huh.
I didn't even know those existed. See,
So,
learning.
Yep.
Do those? I mean, like, I'm wondering how those work. I mean, like, is it? Do you then cut off the hot water from the water heater, and that's just the point of hot water, or does it like once the hot water comes from the water heater, does it then disengage? How does that work?
No, I sit there whenever I do them. I just put the cold up to it, and because I want to they want a point of use here. I'm not going to have hot water going through a point of use, and so that hot water could be used somewhere else in the house, so they can.
So you cut it off, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they can sit there and do whatever they want in the kitchen, not have to worry about anybody else.
Huh. I mean, like, are they efficient?
cool.
I mean, like, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I said that's cool.
Yeah.
I haven't really. You don't see them often.
Right.
It's not something that you see often, but the people that I know that have them love them.
Yeah.
And then I have a couple customers that don't like them. Mm-hmm. Caused a leak underneath their kitchen sink, so now they have a vendetta out for them. They don't even want to look at them anymore.
Where I've seen them are on additions.
Yeah.
Where people don't want to run an additional line, so they'll just put a point of use heater under the sink, and that way they don't have to run a hot line. They just got to run the cold line, and then they're done.
Yeah.
Like a
Shortcut.
like a washroom on a, I don't know.
I was just thinking like a shop or something.
Yeah,
Is they
yeah.
want to build out like
Or
a
like a
little
mother-in-law
shower
suite
or
or-
casita, mother-in-law suite.
Because they're not using electricity unless you're using it, right? I mean, it's like I imagine in that regard they're pretty efficient.
Yeah.
What do those run? Do you know?
There's so many different brands.
Yeah.
Like it could be anywhere from 300 to 800 for the unit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's really expensive stuff out there, but they're typically on the cheaper side.
Yeah.
And so, but
I mean,
it's all-
compared to other water heaters.
yeah, like a lot of times the size of the heater doesn't really dictate the price. Like you would think a 30-gallon water heater would be a lot cheaper than a 50-gallon water heater. Not the case.
Yeah.
They're essentially almost the same exact price.
Why? Don't know.
Don't ask me.
Just talk to the supplier. So all right. So I've got one more question before we wrap up because we're over an hour. I don't want you guys to have to stay all night. But one of the big questions I'm in a lot of attics too, and what boggled and I can't tell you, like, to me one is more than I should hear about. But I've had at least 6 clients now that have had their house flooded out because the water heater is in the attic. Why do they do that?
There's a lot of reasons why people say they're in the attic. If you go up to Dallas, most of their water heaters are in the garage.
Okay.
If you go to Austin, most of theirs are in the garage.
Okay.
If you go to downtown Houston, a lot of older homes, some of them are in the attic. Some of them are in a closet in the bathroom.
Yep.
Almost none of them are in their garage.
Yeah.
And I've heard that it was because people didn't want the builders to put them in the garage or in a closet because they wanted more storage space. And then I've sat there and been told, hey, they put them in the attic because it gets so hot here. You want hot water in your attic. It only makes sense. To me, it doesn't make sense at all.
I'm with you. Like, I can't think of a good reason for it to be in the attic. No. I mean, like, I've even heard people try and like Jack and Jill me on this. Like, it's like, the water runs down the hill. I'm like, no, that doesn't mean anything.
No, yeah, it runs straight into your house. If it busts, it's nuts. From the insurance perspective, I can't think of a, they get asked questions about like galvanized. Do you have galvanized lines or aluminum, electrical, whatever? But do you have a water heater, 50 gallons of water just being suspended over your master bedroom?
Right.
And, you know,
I mean, I can imagine a
nuts.
scenario where insurance companies are going to start going, if it's in the attic, we need to add a premium onto this policy.
yeah. Definitely.
Because, I mean, I've had clients that have, 2-3 story homes, and they go away for the weekend. They come back, their whole house is flooded.
Yep.
And now insurance is having to rebuild the entire infrastructure of this home.
Yes.
Sorry. And it's insane.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's asinine. It's backwards. I mean, gravity tells you that you've suspending 50 gallons of water and then an endless supply running to it. And
Yes.
as it drains, it's going to continue to try to fill it up. And you've got, the next flood right in your house.
Yeah.
And we literally had a call today. Her neighbor flooded out, and that's why she wanted to get a tankless quote. She's like, I can't
done.
sleep now.
Yeah.
And luckily it was right when they got home, but they had just come back from a 4-day trip.
That's
So
weird how it always happens on a trip.
Yes. Oh, I came back from one of my Thanksgiving hunting trips, and it wasn't, I guess it was plumbing, because the AC unit had crashed through my master bedroom and was being held by the cables. I was like, I could have been asleep in that bed and been decapitated by this AC unit.
Your house knew what you did to those turkeys.
Yeah, I know. It was very upset with me. It's
karma.
My turkey murder. But we've tried to really we really try to focus on the customer experience, and our slogan is plumbing solutions with the family touch, and we're about to launch our we're calling it the FFP VIP membership. So that's launching July 1. Trying to get everything ready.
What all is that going to be about?
Let's see. Alicia, you got it all right there. You want to read it off,
Look,
sister?
I'm prepared.
Come on, marketing
I try
guru.
to be prepared.
Yeah.
Well, it's to help. We want to reward people who are being loyal to us. So it's a loyalty program essentially.
Okay.
So the main thing is it comes with a discount on every service for the year.
That's nice.
I mean, the price is only $150 for if you have a single.
For like the whole year?
Yes.
Okay.
So and that's for the single water heater home. So if you have a single tank in your house, that covers all of it. So if you have double, it's $100 more.
Yeah. The membership includes
Even the
a
under
whole
the
home.
sink point of use water heaters?
No, we wouldn't charge for that. We'll install
clarify,
them.
just clarify.
The big ones, the whole home heaters. But that value is reached just from one portion of it, which is the water heater flush, which is important. You need to be doing that every year, and so that's included, and that's $150 right off the bat.
Okay.
Or $150 value. Words are hard. So that's just one part of it, and then the whole home inspection, which is good to do too, because it can catch, like if you have a rat chew through something you don't know and it's just dripping slowly.
Yeah.
We'll catch that. So the whole home inspection,
And that's
water heater
annual. You get an
discount.
annual inspection. We're going to send a guy out, get you scheduled, and every year we'll go out, just check everything tight, everything dry, everything looking good. Okay, great. Here you go. High five. And we flush the water heater too.
And-
So-
Yeah.
Is there a time of year that's best to have a plumber come out and do a whole home inspection like that?
Well,
really.
for our plumber's sakes, not in the summer.
Well, is that what you can be selfish here. It's fine.
Anytime's fine.
So, but we've got the loyalty discount, the water heater discount as well. So if you need to do a replacement on your water heater, you can get up to $400 off.
Okay.
So it just depends on the water heater. And then, so if you need, for the inspection, if we suspect that there's something, major going on, like if there's something that bellies out and you need to use a camera for that, you get half off,
Half off of sewer cameras.
Okay.
So, and that's $600 right there,
Yeah.
the total. So you get $300 in savings.
Okay.
And then what else do we have? Priority scheduling, and then the annual preventative maintenance drain treatment. You mentioned the
New Line
the new
earlier.
line.
The what now?
New line for the AC condensate drains.
Oh, yeah.
And so with the annual inspection, I'll go ahead and I'll do one treatment to the AC condensate. And then I'll sit there and it's called Bio 1. It's a microorganism you treat your drains with.
Okay.
Kitchen sink, lavatory, showers, and it kills eats all dead bacteria.
Oh.
So it's like if hair in the line, it'll sit there, eat all the stuff sticking to the hair. All the grease in your kitchen drain, it'll slowly eat it up.
Okay.
And after treatments over months and months and months, it'll actually eat up all that grease. But I'll go around and I'll treat the entire home during our annual inspections.
How do you do that?
Pour down the drain.
Just pour down the drain?
Yeah, so it's
really
a
technical.
bottle. It's a 72 ounce bottle, I believe, or 64, and it actually has a measuring cup on the bottle, so it's not like you have to carry around the bottle and a measuring cup.
Right.
And it's 2 ounces per treatment.
So you go around and treat each of the drains.
I'll go and treat each drain throughout the house.
Okay.
And he
It's a
shows the
product.
client how to do it themselves. So if they want to continue to do some maintenance,
Right.
how often do they do that?
No, it's a once a month treatment.
Once a month, yeah.
And we sell that product. It's not something that you can just go get anywhere, I think. Right?
It comes with some of our services.
Okay.
We sell it as a package with our services because
I
we don't
gotcha.
sell products. We sell services.
You're right. Sorry. The lingo is important.
Very important.
I'm in trouble
Our
now.
CPA's like, ugh.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
Don't
okay.
get mad.
But yeah, no, we sell it along with this, our drain services and things like that. We'll have, the products that can go with that service, so it can
But that's-
continue to happen.
That stuff is way better than like using the stuff you can get at the grocery store, like Drano.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Please
Drano,
don't
like
put-
it eats your
Drano's-
pipes,
Well,
right?
that's not a drain maintainer. That's a clogged temporary fixer.
Right.
It melts the hair that's in the drain, and so that it does clear stuff, but it's not a maintainer.
Right.
I see
It's not going to
Drano-
continue to do anything.
Yeah, like if their sink's backing up, it's just a lot of hair in the pop-up assembly. It'll melt the hair, and then it'll sit there. There's still going to be stuff left over for stuff to still build back up onto.
Right.
That's where a plumber comes in, and a plumber actually takes it apart, cleans everything to essentially get it to back as new as possible. And if it needs to be replaced, then that's whenever we replace it.
Yeah.
Because starting back from scratch, it'll take a while for that stuff to build back up. But if you just poke the hole in it, then it's just going to build back up again.
So
you gotta call us.
on a clogged drain, I mean, just so people know, like, what are your thoughts on people being able to rent these big industrial snakes? Like, what are some pitfalls people ought to need to be looking out for if they're doing that, because they can cause some damage with those things,
to
right?
themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, to themselves. Those big cables, they're unforgiving.
Yeah.
And so if, let's just say it's roots in the line super heavy and their cable binds up, it could actually pull that cable out of the machine and wrap up.
And
Kind of like how these are. Whenever these get messed up, you can't get them unraveled.
right. Yeah.
But people's arms, their hands get stuck in them, and I've seen it break hands. I've seen it break fingers, and so that's
And they don't care. Like, it's a machine. Like, it's just going to do what it's going to do.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's all by a button. And so if you're wrapped up, your weight's still on that button.
Yeah.
It's still going to keep spinning until you get off of it.
Yeah.
Can it do damage to the lines themselves if they're not?
It is possible
Yeah.
if you don't know what you're doing.
It's but some of that's dependent on like the head that they put on the snake and all that kind of stuff, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you have a claw head, and then you sit there, you run in. Let's say you're trying to go downstream, but you go upstream, and then you hit a Y or a combo, and you hit it. You sit there and you're like, oh, I think I'm stuck on something. Keep on spinning it. It flops around. It could break that fitting.
Yeah.
And if it's underneath your house, then
Good luck.
that's not an easy fix.
Get the tunnel
Well,
through.
it's not a cheap fix.
No. I
Tunneling
mean, like,
underneath your house or busting up your concrete.
Jeez.
Never fun.
No. Which
Right.
I'm always surprised how many people don't know that there's holes in their foundation, like purposeful holes. Like the ones underneath like tubs and stuff like that. I'm like, no, there's dirt down there, and they're like, no, it's a foundation. I'm like, no, there's a hole going right through it all the way to the ground. That's how your plumbing comes in the house.
Yeah.
That's how that critter got into your.
That's how we get this stuff out of here.
Yeah.
All right. I think Seth, one of our plumbers, one of the first jobs that we sent him and Zach on, it was probably their least favorite job of the entire year.
Oh, that tunnel took us till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was
Is it
cast iron. It was an much older home, and had cast iron lines and had to chip through concrete. It was
Cast
just,
iron's a nightmare, right?
Yeah, fixing it. All this stuff where we had to replace was right above the concrete. And so we had to replace everything going through the concrete without trying to tear up their foundation as much as possible.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
Jeez.
good luck.
It was an art. It was good times. I think we had to go back to Home Depot 7 times to get more stuff for that.
I bought a few tools.
No,
Yeah,
I've had some buddies that have bought older homes with cast iron plumbing, and they're like, "Look, once it went, it was just such a nightmare to get it fixed."
Yeah.
So
This is the other thing. We were talking earlier about why do they allow water heaters in attics, like with whole home inspections before you purchase a home. You know, you have the inspector come out. I can't tell you how many not sob stories, but like just terrible stories of clients who just bought a house and then 6 weeks later they have an entire sewage that we have to dig up and tunnel and because they didn't have a camera run. Like if I'm buying a house, one of the most expensive fixes that you could have would be the ground plumbing, and not knowing that there's a belly or a break out there and then your whole house backs up with sewage. That's super fun.
The worst one I've seen, it was about 3 years ago. Yeah, about 3 years ago. It was on the west side of Houston. House was on the market for about 280 days. Lady bought it. First night she moved in, it backed up. Passed during inspection, because during the inspector comes, all they do is run water.
Right.
Flush toilets, run water. They don't do anything else. They moved in, started flushing toilet paper. They ended up having 3 breaks and 2 more root intrusions. We had to replace the plumbing from all the way, a 5-foot tunnel underneath their house, all the way to the city.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it was her first week in the house.
And that's why you call a plumber for a plumbing inspection.
Happy new homeowner right there.
Well, especially in the older homes, you
gosh.
just there's so much you can't see. We don't have X-ray vision, and so getting a camera down there just to make sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine that really is something you want to do, especially on like an older home. Like newer homes,
Yes.
I imagine like you can hold the builder accountable. I mean, because most of them come with some sort of warranty on that. I mean, like not always, but you know, like you're going to have a better chance of it being okay. But like if the house is 50, 60 years old, it's probably not a bad idea. Like, hey, could we get a plumber in here to like look at like, is everything working right?
Yeah.
I mean, like.
Well, and especially in your more wooded
the
neighborhoods,
woodlands, the 25-year-old houses, 30-year-old houses, might be newer piping, might be PVC, but they don't let you cut down any trees.
That's true.
They have to have so many trees per
lot,
per lot. And so it's always running right in between all of them. And so it's, you know, it's still not an old house, but it's, and I could
Old
get it.
trees.
Whenever you're trying to buy a house, you're trying to save as much money as possible.
Yeah.
But, and sometimes I've seen it bite some people in the butt.
Yeah.
So I always recommend it no matter what.
Yeah, just to get it checked out.
Yeah,
Because with my camera, I can take videos. I can record videos. As soon as I put it in, I could save the entire video, send it to you, email it, so I can track the entire house.
Yeah.
And take pictures and videos and document everything.
I'm actually surprised that more inspectors aren't employing, you know, people like you to do those kinds of things. I mean, like to me, it doesn't seem unreasonable if I'm buying a home. I mean, I don't know what home inspections are going for these days, but it wouldn't to get like something thoroughly checked out, like a home. Like I would expect to pay like $1,500 to get like a thorough inspection, not where someone's coming in and turning the water on and just like, you know, doing the eyeball check, but like really like popping the hood and you know,
I think that would be more than sufficient to pay for the trades to come out there and really dig in. I mean,
I think people, when they think of plumbing, they think of toilets and sinks and bathtubs. They're not thinking of everything that's underground that can go bad. Because I didn't think about it until I started working with you guys, and I'm like, okay, like, you know, but I wouldn't have thought about it before. And there's a lot of people that
if you're buying a home, especially in the Woodlands area, it would be the one from the insurance perspective and also from a plumbing perspective, getting a camera down there and really seeing what's going on, because it will be one of the most costly repairs that you could have to do because of plumbing. Second to that, to an attic flood.
And, you know, if you're an FFP VIP, you get half off your camera.
There you go. It pays for itself.
I was actually thinking about it from the insurance perspective. That seems like the way that you could actually incentivize more people to do something like that is to give a discount on insurance, like a homeowner's policy, by having a trades inspection, like where you have the plumber, the electrician, the HVAC, you know, whatever it is.
So there are companies. So there is something called a utility discount. You know, different companies will have. I'm just speaking from my State Farm background. Shout out to the red and white, all my old people. But they had a utility discount, and you would have to have contractors with their license numbers sign off on it. And it's the 3 main components. The 3 biggest reasons for claims, other than weather, are roof replacement, HVAC, plumbing updating and replacement, and then your electrical. So you would have to have a contractor sign off on that. But the discount for homes that were 20 years or older, it was significant. I mean, it was
Sure,
a massive
yeah.
discount. I mean, we were like, hey, do you know anybody? Like, get this inspected.
Yeah.
It'll save you a lot. And that was back when I was still, that was years and years ago, before the freeze-mageddon that caused outrageous increases in homeowners insurance. And because homeowners insurance is rated as a collective, it's not the individual. It's because your house doesn't move. Your house isn't out there asking for trouble like you are, racing down the highway in your car. But so when a tree falls from a hurricane winds and it damages 1,800 homes, all the homes in that zip code are going to be affected rate-wise. So it's a collective. So when people have older homes and they get those components replaced, roof, electrical, HVAC, plumbing, most companies out there, the bigger ones, I can't speak for all of them, but most of them will give you a significant discount.
That's cool.
Like 15 to 20%.
That's
That's massive with today's rates.
Yes.
So talk to your companies, ask them if they give discounts for that, and then call your professionals and get them out and sign off on it.
Yeah. Have you heard and I'm going to say rumor so that I don't get any hate mail. Have you heard the insurance rumor about them taking away roofs?
I haven't done personal lines myself.
Yeah.
And I've been in my little
bubble.
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 My own little
But
bubble.
have you heard about that?
I've heard about companies pulling out of California and obviously Florida because it just sticks out like a sore thumb. I'm worried about Louisiana, honestly, because they just keep getting, Charles just keeps getting hammered.
They're talking Louisiana, Texas now.
Yeah. So I honestly, I haven't personally heard about that because I'm in my own world. However, I could totally see that happening. Texas is the #1 catastrophic state.
Oh, is it really?
It is. We have hurricanes, we have tornadoes. We actually have more tornadoes, and not just because there's some weird phenomenon going, all the lasers from the government going up in our skies or whatever whatever's happening out there.
Those government lasers.
Yeah, all those conspiracies out there, and this wild weather that we're having. But Texas has always been because we're the largest state, we have the most tornadoes. We just don't have the F4s and F5s, the devastating ones. But as far as the number of tornadoes, we've always had the most tornadoes.
Yeah. That's like North Texas, though, mostly, yeah.
North Texas is the hail haven, right?
Yeah.
So Harris County and Tarrant County, Dallas County, those are your highest rated counties, and were in the country for a long time. And it was because anything and everything that can happen weather-wise happens in Texas, and then you have the flooding events. Hurricane Harvey was not a mass wind event. It was a rain event.
It was a rain event, yeah.
And so you have, from an insurance perspective, I could see them severely limiting the roofing. I don't have any insider knowledge, so don't blow me up.
Some
about
folks
it,
that I've talked to, and again, I don't have any primary knowledge, but some folks that I've talked to is that several companies are talking about just taking it off the table completely, and it just not even being an option anymore. And it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean, when I talk to we've been doing the show a long time now. When I talk to my friends in the Pacific Northwest, and I talk to my friends on the West Coast and the East Coast, and they say, well, so, and they start hearing horror stories about things that happen in Texas. And they say, well, who gave that GC a license? And I'm like, you don't have to have a license to be a GC. And they are just baffled.
Yes.
Baffled that anybody can be. I mean, you call yourself a GC around here, and you're a GC.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a license.
Slap a bumper sticker on
That's
your
why
car.
so many people getting scammed.
Yeah.
But that's true of the roofing industry in Texas. You don't have to have a license.
Yeah.
And that boggles their mind. And I get it because it's so regulated in most other states.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, who do you hold accountable? And I'm like, well, these guys, that's why these guys just roll through whenever there's a storm.
Storm chasers, yeah.
And
the roof is the #1 defense to the home. It is the first line of defense. And anybody can come up and say, hey, I have a roofing company, or hey, I do roofs, and let me do your roof, and my price is better than everyone else. And I mean, they made the whole deductible buy down illegal. They actually changed laws on that, because back in the day, a roofing company come in and say, hey, we're going to discount this much and eat up so much of that deductible, and they cannot do that. So if a roofing company is telling you we're going to help you pay off that deductible, run away because they're breaking the law, and they'll take you down with them. It is not. It's not allowed.
And here's what I'll tell people all the time, because like I'm in a very highly regulated industry. You're in a pretty highly regulated industry. Like, it doesn't keep people from being charlatans and thieves and con men. No. And like, as a homeowner, you don't have to hire a licensed person to do those things. Handymen get hired to do plumbing all the time.
All the time.
Well, that's why when I'm, posting and reaching out to people that are asking for plumbers, I'm like, we are licensed and insured, because there are many people who are out there that are not. And they're like, yeah, I'll replace your water. And it's like, do they know the codes? Like, code compliance is important, and it's there for a reason. Are they going to use
quality materials?
Yeah.
Yeah, which, by the way, how do you feel about shark bites?
Yeah. I cut 2 of them out today.
There's your answer.
No, I always recommend every homeowner, no matter what it is, if it's in your state, if there's a license for it, ask for it.
Yeah.
If they don't immediately pull out their wallet to sit there and show it to you, then they're hiding something.
Yeah. Ask me how many times I've been asked for my license. Yeah, you got it. Zero.
I've never been.
That's the part that's crazy to me. And like, I'm required to carry it everywhere that I go.
Yeah.
Like, I have to take it to the airport with me. It's stupid. Like, I'm not even there to work.
Yes, you are. You're there to save Panda Express from their infestation.
Like, what I mean is, like, if I'm traveling, like, it's like, no, I'm going to Florida. Like, I don't need my license, but like, no, you have to have it with you at all times. But like, 0 people have ever asked me for my license, and I have it with me all the time.
It's there. It's an intended level of protection for the consumers, but the consumers have to know about that, know to ask for it. It's there to protect them.
Well, and there's plenty of people that say, yeah, I'm licensed, but they know they're not going to ask for it, so are they?
But people don't understand how strenuous, I guess, I don't even know if that's the right word, is how, big the test is.
Yeah.
For plumbing. It's a 3-phase test, and it used to be you had to do everything.
Well, y'all are under apprenticeship system, right?
Yeah. So you have to be an apprentice for 4,000 hours to get your tradesman. You can skip your tradesman, go straight to journeyman if you want 8,000 hours. But to test, you have to go all the way to Austin. Yeah. You have to plumb it's like a 4-foot by 4-foot dollhouse off of plans.
Oh, really?
You only have so many times you could order materials without points being deducted from you. If you have too much material left over, points are deducted from you. Huh. You have to solder there. You have to do takeoffs. You have to do a water heater test. You have to glue a whole bunch of PVC into like a box this big, and it could only move so much. And so
I wanted to see pictures.
It's a pretty
efficient
testing. Yeah. I mean, it's when he was telling me about. I mean, he was nervous. I didn't lose an ounce of sleep. It
wasn't bad except for the drive part.
Yeah.
Because it's not just
driving there.
Yeah, because you either woke up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning to drive to Austin for a test that morning, or you went the night before. Yeah. And then all you could think about was the test.
Sure.
I knew he was going to ace it. I wasn't worried one bit. And but he's brilliant. He's brilliant, and
if people knew what it took. Like, I'm proud to say I'm a licensed plumber.
Right.
And it's because it took all of this to get to it.
Yeah.
And, whenever, I wish people would ask me for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like, oh.
Can I see it?
Yeah, like, because you're proud of the numbers on your truck. You're proud of the license in your pocket. And, like, it's really, I think it's really weird that people don't ask for it. Because there's not a plumber worth his salt that wouldn't be happy to pull it out of his wallet and show it to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and technically you're supposed to have it on every advertisement, every business card. Everything's supposed to have your license number. So every time I see one, I'm like, hey, where's your number? Just like I feel like the license police. But it's, everyone, the people that are playing, again, insurance agent, you got to play by the rules. And when people aren't, and it ultimately comes down to the detriment of the client, of the customer, of the homeowner. It sucks.
Yeah.
So,
but again, this is the point of the show, is to educate homeowners as the questions they should be asking. And it's not just true in Texas. I mean, it's true in any state. I mean, like I think every state has licensed plumbers, and most of the trades are licensed. It's like, just ask them. It's not insulting to ask a tradesman for his license.
No, it's you protecting yourself.
Yeah.
And if it's a good like contractor, then they want you to protect them.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. A lot in our area is all county. And so there's no inspections.
Yeah.
So like in the city of Conroe, we were supposed to pull a permit to change out a water heater.
Right.
Well, a water heater takes about 2-3 hours to change. A lot of people sit there and they do it really quick, so they never pull an inspection. The only time an inspector would know or somebody would know is if there's a water heater sitting outside of a truck, outside this house, and then all they have to do is type in the address. Oh, no, there's no permit pulled on this. I'm sure that's happened, like people being caught, but it's pretty rare.
Right.
But during all the woodlands, spring, there's no inspections on anything. And so people get away with a lot of stuff they should not be getting away with.
That's why people love coming to work on this place, because did you notice what you drove through? Right the city limits sign?
Oh, yeah.
It's like right down the street.
Yeah, we're out of there.
No permits here.
Exactly. People love it.
I get it, because there's a certain amount of freedom where you don't have to pull that kind of stuff, but like there's a reason that they have those.
Exactly. And that makes the difference in any trade, is if they're going to do what they're supposed to do when they don't technically have to do it because nobody's watching.
Exactly.
And that's a big thing. And a lot of our work gets covered up.
Yeah, so you can't even inspect it.
So, like, if I go do a sewer in spring, got the ditch dug, we replace it, well, there's no inspection.
Yeah.
There's nobody to come inspect it. And so it's, okay, cover it back up. So it's all up to that plumber to make sure they did their job right.
Right.
And it comes down to integrity and
Exactly.
who has it and who doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I know for us, most of it is just coming behind other people.
Oh, God.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
I get a lot of calls like that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys. I've loved having this talk. Anything else you guys want people to know about Fisher Family Plumbing before we wrap it up tonight?
Trying to think of something funny to harass Zachary with, but can't think of anything right now.
Well, how do you guys get a hold of you if they need to get in touch with you, if they have any questions, they want to get on the value plan there?
We are relaunching our website. We're really excited, and we're actually going to have a direct link to be able to sign up there. But anytime, call our office. Our office number is 832-844-7200, and you'll probably hear my voice for a little while. Sometimes Alicia's, sometimes Zach's, and we'll get you set up. But we'll have it on our website, and you can always reach out to us on Facebook. We are looking at every avenue: phone, social media, website. We got all eyes at all times.
And if you don't like to talk on the phone, you could even just text that number.
Yeah,
there you go.
You can text our office number. We purposely went with a cell phone instead of a landline, so that clients could shoot us quick pictures or videos. If they've got an active leak, we want to be able to put eyes on it immediately. So you can text or call that line anytime. So.
I think that's actually a huge value to be able to text.
Absolutely.
Honestly, some people just get anxious about the idea of calling somebody, and it's just easier to text.
Yeah, it's the days of just picking up the phone and calling. It's just when you have the ability to just be like, hi.
Or you're busy too.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
There's quite a few senior folk. They sit there and they can't hear good.
Right.
So they don't really want to talk on the phone very much.
Right.
And so that's just something that they can sit there and hey, let's not talk on the phone. Just text me all of your information, and then we'll just text back and forth with the customer that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys know something I realized not too long ago. I think it was just last year about the whole being able to text a business. Like, what a game changer that was for the deaf community.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like, to be able to do that.
It's inclusive, yeah.
Yeah, before then maybe an email, but how much more quickly they can get responses and service for things that they need by businesses allowing them to text them.
Yeah.
It's a game changer for them.
Oh yeah, last quick Laura story. I know how much Zach likes these, but I think it was 4th or 5th grade, we had a group of deaf students that came to our elementary school in Alvin, Texas. And so it was we were all learning how to sign and everything and become friends. Well, they have a calling service that they do phone calls through, and it's an interpreter. So if you've ever had to do a 5th grade breakup with your deaf boyfriend through an interpreter, it's a fun experience. And you don't ever call me. I don't know why you don't love me, but so to be able just to have the intimate ability to go straight to the source and just text it instead of having to, reveal your entire personal life to the interpreter while they're sitting there judging you and translating your message for you. I can just take care of it on my own now. But yeah, it was a strategy that we wanted to go with. And so, whatever you're comfortable with communicating, we've got the avenue for you.
Yeah.
So.
And we all learned something new about romantic relationships in the deaf community.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
breakups are more likely to
It's
happen over
awkward as
text
hell.
messages.
Yes, it's better now. You can just break up yourself. You don't have to go through it. I'm sorry, interpreter Jim. Yeah.
It's the AI prompt. It's not you, it's me.
Yeah. We really appreciate you having us out tonight. This is a lot of fun.
This has been great. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I hope it was a good experience for everybody. I hope you won't be completely turned off by being interviewed again.
Oh no, I can't wait to come back.
Awesome.
Without Zach looking at me with death rays every time I say something silly.
Well, listen, guys, if you have not yet, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the heart, everything you need to do to follow the show. We're so thankful that you hung in there with us this long. Tune in next week for another episode here, The Homeowner Show. Till then, we'll see you next time.